time has come. Our movement is real, and change is coming to America.
I think this presidential election means a great deal to a lot of people, particularly those who have been part of the civil rights struggle. My parents did not live to see this day, but they had a dream of this day that racism would not be a factor, but people will be determined by their character and their content. And so I am delighted that Barack Obama is our candidate. And I'm excited, and I believe this Tuesday, November 4th, that history will be made, that this African American will ascend to the highest office of these United States of America, and that's what it means to me.
Do you think that this is the promised land that Martin Luther King spoke of for black people?
I think that I don't think it's the promised land, but I think it's a fulfillment of a promise. I think America has been ready a long time for a president of character, of decency. I think the walls of racism will collapse. There are some who's trying to hold on to the old model, but there is a new paradigm shift in the United States of America. I think that America has been ready for an African American, Latino, any person of race we're ready for, because we're not judging them based upon the color of their skin, but their content and their character.
There seems to be like a growing sentiment, on the street, and that our people fear that Barack Obama will be hurt, killed, or attempted to be assassinated while in office. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's true?
There's always people that want to interrupt a movement, and that's always the challenge that we have. But I believe that God will protect him, his family, and I put more confidence in God, not the system. And so I'm not concerned primarily about him being assassinated, because I believe he's in the hands of God.
God forbid, if that should happen, would you prefer that to happen? Like I said, God forbid, if that should happen, would you prefer that to happen in office or before he gets to office? Because a lot of people like to see him in that seat, so for the younger kids, the younger generation, to see that anything is possible.
I don't even want to entertain that, because I think that's far removed from my ideas. I am convinced that the protection of the Almighty God will protect him and his family, so that we will have to deal with what might be. I don't want to deal with what might be. I want to deal with what the present is, that he will be the first African American President of these United States of America.
Well, I support the Democratic Party in that the Democratic Party supports the people. As long as the Democratic Party is consistent with its values and its mission, then it will continue to have my support. But that support should never be taken for granted. This presidential election is historic in a number of ways. Yes, we are all thrilled about the candidacy of Barack Obama, but what has engaged us in Barack's campaign is seeing how the young people and how African Americans are coming together and re-engaging in the democratic process. I saw in the news yesterday where a 107-year-old woman, Ada Nettles in South Carolina, stood online because she thought she would never live long enough to cast a vote for a black man as President of the United States of America. This is what it's all about. Our foreparents died, were attacked, water hoses, fire hoses used against them, dogs sicked on them to try to keep them from voting. And now we are, as a people, rising up and making our voices heard. But it's also good for this nation, and it's going to be good for the world, because America will be viewed in a new light upon the election of Barack Obama.
Okay, being that you said that you saw something on the news, I saw something on the news that was equally as joyful you saw. I saw something that was equally as disturbing. I saw a white woman that said, she's scared if Barack Obama gets in office that the blacks will take over. How do you feel about that? And that's just sort of like hypocrisy, from white people. I mean,
Right. For every advancement, there will always be a level of ignorance that will have to be addressed, but we should never be surprised that those who are uninformed or have not had exposure to African American empowerment would be a bit fearful of it. So I'm not bitter because of those kinds of comments. What will happen is, as Barack begins his presidency, what they will see is that here is a man of profound intelligence. Here's a man that does not label people and divide people, but that pulls people together. And I hope someone would find that woman 4 years from now and ask her how does she feel having witnessed the first black president.
I mean, on the street, it's like a growing sentiment that, amongst people, the common man, that Barack Obama will be hurt, assassinated while in office. God forbid, but if that should happen, would you prefer that to happen him outside of office or him being the president of the United States?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think there's always that possibility because we live in a world where there are some sick and demented people. But the Bible says that perfect love casts out all fear. We cannot have a spirit of fear. We have to look forward to the impact that his presidency is going to make and not focus on the what-if scenarios, because if he focuses on it, he will not be able to be as effective. And if we focus on it, we as a people will not be as energetic and as hopeful. So I choose hope over fear any day. I also, though, want to say that Barack's election, which we all hope will happen on Tuesday, is going to represent a significant shift in America's mentality towards racism. We're going to acknowledge continually that racism is still real and virulent and needs to be opposed on every hand. But I want to speak particularly to African American young people. You, from this day forward, cannot use a mentality of racism as an excuse for you not getting educated, for you not being the best prepared, for you not being articulate. Racism is real, but you have to get the best education. You're going to have to turn off the TV and open up the books. You are going to have to be very articulate and be able to communicate effectively. You can't lay on the sofa watching the Jerry Springers and expect to advance, because the truth of the matter is doors of opportunity are being opened. And what people are going to say is that if you have the opportunity, it is up to you to step through the door. You've got to be better trained, more effective, work harder, get to the job earlier, and do the right thing. It's going to start in our community. It would be foolish for us to expect Barack Obama to solve all of the problems of African Americans. That's not going to happen. Every individual has to take responsibility for themselves and for their families, for their children, and then let's make it happen in every home, on every block.